Welcome to Glen Etive, the location for the final scenes in the James Bond movie Skyfall. And for a price, Roberts and his company will lend you their luxury Aston Martin 007's car of choice for a trip through this stunning landscape.
James Bond, in a way, is a kind of a tag to bring people here and appreciate this most stunning, beautiful scenery.
For most of us, owning one of these could only ever be the stuff of fantasies. The least expensive Aston Martin will put an £85,000 dent in your bank account. One of these Aston Martin driving weekends is slightly more affordable, but still per person it costs more than £1,200. And unlike Bond, you do have to give the car back afterwards. Scotland has the natural beauty, but businesses are being advised by the banks to do more to understand their client demographic. Tapping into the psyche of a James Bond fan is seen as one way of doing that. But will a Scottish breakfast served with the most expensive champagne really be enough to tempt those wealthy Russian and Chinese tourists? Black pudding, mushrooms and what looks like your standard Scottish haggis. So what exactly makes this a James Bond breakfast?
Because the eggs are scrambled and not fried.
I'd like to know why this particular James Bond audience is being targeted by the Scottish tourism industry.
Because it's such a lucrative audience, but also we know that the visitor numbers are really on the increase.
From places like Russia, China and Brazil, where they say the Bond brand is already big, and Scottish exports can increase the intrigue.
Really high-end products which are being exported all over the world, and if people are seeing a bit of that part of Scotland in their own countries, it really inspires them to want to come and really see where it's made. And having added to that some places like Skyfall being seen on the big screen, it's a fantastic advert for Scotland.
The Scottish whisky experience is one of the country's most popular attractions. May has been designated Whisky Month. Some cultures may not approve of a country officially promoting itself through alcohol, but here in Scotland it's served up as an educational experience. Through here we have the largest collection of Scotch whiskies in the world. There are 3,384 bottles in here, and they'll even teach you how to identify your own perfect Scotch to match your personality, palates and preferences, so you can become a connoisseur just like James Bond.
The Chinese, the Russians and the Brazilians, all three of those cultures that we have coming through in strong numbers at the moment. I think they just like the edginess of it. I think that, I think especially in the last film where you saw, the kind of slightly more edgy character of James Bond coming through in that, and you saw so much of the rugged, wild countryside in Scotland, and I think we're seen as being one of those countries that still is very unspoiled, which, is the case. I think if things are authentic, it works. I think there's no point trying to take an image that comes through in a film and say, well, that film was filmed here, so let's use it and let's kind of build something around that. But I think if it's authentic and it's integral, then that can absolutely be embraced by people. And I think in this instance that's certainly the case.
These things feature in 3 James Bond films: Licence to Kill, Man with the Golden Gun and Casino Royale. So what is it about these aircraft that make them so popular with James Bond? These iconic planes hark back to the halcyon days, a time when travel was exclusive, exotic and romantic. Some may say the antithesis of today's travel experiences. This is the only commercial seaplane operating in the UK. It soars over Loch Lomond, a number of James Bond film locations, and gives a bird's eye view of Britain's nuclear missile sites. Over the last year, David has seen a big increase in Russian clients.
Russians do enjoy the hunting and fishing, and then the whisky. There's a whole load of things there that certainly Scotland and Russia have got in common. They're a little bit macho perhaps.
What are the chances that as a BBC travel show special we could have a wee go at controlling this seaplane?
And it wouldn't be a James Bond experience without flying the plane yourself.
Just look outside.
In the James Bond films, Russians often used to play the bad guys. If Scotland can successfully flip the script, Russian tourists could soon be soaring up to hero status.